Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain certain topics in the computer science. So one such topic is nothing but OOPS concepts. So OOPS concepts, basically we have so many different programming languages. One is Java, C, C++ programming, C, Python. Okay. So if you consider C, C++ and Java, so the difference is that C is not object oriented and C++ is object oriented and Java is also object oriented programming languages. So here there are certain concepts in computer science that makes a programming language as object oriented. One thing is like encapsulation. So here if you consider Java programming language, I have a class, okay. So that class is used for some to store some class is nothing but a group of some programming statements, okay. So here encapsulation is nothing but wrapping up of all the lines of code into some single unit that we call as a class, okay. Now second concept is called as a data abstraction. Data abstraction is nothing but say for example I have some method which is used for writing some functionality, okay. It consists of some 1,000 lines of code. Now I need to write 1,000 lines on again and again, okay. In the traditional programming language, say like that, okay. Now what here in C++ and other object oriented programming languages do, right, here we write a method, say for example A, and we write some 1,000 lines of code in it, okay. And once we write 1,000 lines of code in it, so here this method will be again reutilized in the base classes. Say for example this method, I will not write all the 1,000 lines again and again and again, okay. I will write all the 1,000 lines at one point and reuse that method again and again in the classes, okay. So that we call as a data abstraction. We are presenting all that complex things in some abstract form. So that we call as a data abstraction. Now third thing is like polymorphism. Polymorphism is nothing but, poly is nothing but many, morphism is nothing but a forms, okay. A function exhibiting many forms is nothing but a polymorphism, okay. Basically method overriding is one such concept which implement polymorphism. Say for example sum a comma b is there, sum a comma b comma c is there, okay. Now I write these two methods inside a class. A class is nothing but a group of lines of code in the Java, okay. So here if I call sum a, if I pass two parameters a comma b or a comma b, two numbers inside the method sum, then that we call as a, then this method will be called. If I pass three numbers, then second method will be called, okay. So that we call as a polymorphism. And fourth thing is inheritance, okay. Say for example a real-time example, father is there and son is there, okay. Son is inherited from the father. Similarly here in Java also we have a concept where I have one sum a class, okay. Say for example a class is there, class A is there, and class B is there, and I write some A method where here 1,000 lines of code is there. Now simply what I will do, B dot A I will say, then all that 1,000 lines it will be used to execute. So here class class B is derived from class A, okay. That we call as a, and if class C is also derived from class B, that we call as a multiple inheritance, okay. And here diamond problem is also there in the inheritance. And another is, and some more concepts are there, typecasting like that, okay, where you used to convert the integers data types also. And in simple brief way, this is the OOPS concepts. In which language OOPS concepts are there? C, C++, Java, Python. Sorry, C is not there. Python, C++, Java, Python. Okay. So C language is a command line language. I mean to say like we write it generates .exe file. Okay. And in Java here in Java dot class file we generate, okay. So here this C++, Java, Python are the object-oriented languages. And next is CN. CN stands for computer networks. Okay. Here in something, a network is something. Okay, I have some thousands of computers. Okay. Now all these computers needs to have some boundary. Okay. So that we call as a network. Okay. And here the network is nothing but an imaginary like a collection of the hosts. Okay. And here if I wanted to protect all these 1000 devices, then that imaginary boundary we fence that we call as a firewall. Okay. And here for each device we have IP address logically to identify the system, and to physically identify system we have physical address that we call as a MAC address. It will be of a 48 bit and it will be of a 32 bit. Okay. Now again IP address is of two types, that is IPv4, IPv6. It will be of 32 bit, it will be of 128 bit. Okay. Now 32 bit dot 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 dot. Okay. So 10 dot some x dot x dot x. Okay. Here 8 bits, 8 bits. Okay, will be there. Okay. So here 8 into 4 is nothing but 32 bits will be there. Now further in class IPv4 we have class A, B, C, D, E. Okay. 0 to 126, 128 to 191, 191 to 223, 223 to 254. Okay. So here first they are the important. Okay. And E is used for the routing kind of purposes, some troubleshooting kind of purposes. Okay. And here if it is a class A, then network ID, host ID will be there. 8 bits will be network ID, this will be host 8, 20, sorry, this is 16, this is 16, this is 16, this is 16, okay. This is 16, sorry, 24, 8, okay. So, say for example, if it's a class A, then first 8 bits will be of a network ID and 24 bits will be used to identify the host in it. Now, if it's a class B network, then 16 bits for the network and 16 for the host. If it's a class C, 24 and 8. Okay. So, these are briefly. Okay. So it is 224 to class D is from 239. Okay. Now this is 242, 254. Okay. Class A is nothing but 0 to 126. Now 127 will be reserved for some that is a loopback address. It will not be used. Now B is 128 to 191. C is 191 to 223 and 224 to 239, 240 to 254. Okay. This is the basic concepts of computer networking. And one more concept is there called as a CIDR, classless interdomain routing, where we doesn't use any classes. There we have some bits. That bits are required to identify the network and host bits in the network. Okay. Classless interdomain routing is there. Now IPv6 is also there. Here we have 128 bit IP address is there. Actually here this IPv6 is created in case if one day this IPv4 IP addresses exhaust, then this will come into the picture. Okay. Briefly, this is the thing. Okay. And now computer networks is also done. Now we go for some security related concepts. Okay. Security related concepts is nothing but encryption, decryption, public key, private key, like that. Okay. Say for example, I have one sender, I have one receiver. Okay. So here I send some text to a receiver. Okay. Then if the text is readable, that we call as a plain text. If the text is unreadable, that we call as an encrypted text. If I wanted to read the text, then we have to decrypt the text. That is called as a decryption. If I make the message unreadable, that is called as a encryption. Here two keys will be there, public key, private key. Here two keys will be there, public key, private key. So this mechanism is nothing but a public key cryptography mechanism. Okay, even digital signatures use these concepts. Okay, and still zero trust security. Zero trust security is nothing but we have an organization network or any network. Say if I make that inside the network, no one should be trusted. Say for example, there should be zero trust in that organization. Whoever is, I mean to say like, it can be an organization or a network. Every user should be authenticated via some mechanism. Say for example, SSO or password, user ID, or MFA, multi-factor authentication kind of thing. So here in any organization, in any network, so no one should be authenticated. That is we call it zero trust security. So next is PDPA Act. PDPA Act is Personal Data Protection Act. Whatever the personal data are there, there are some guidelines how the data should be protected and should not be shared with the third parties. Like that, there are some guidelines are there. It is found in the 2023. Okay, you can just go through the guidelines. And data security is nothing but this thing. And firewall is nothing but an imaginary. Say for example, I have one house. Around that house, I put some fence. Why? To protect from the outsiders. Similarly, organization network or any network, it has some imaginary boundaries that we call as a firewall to protect from outsiders or external users. Okay, and now I have when a web application is there, and if I put some firewall in front of that web application, that we call as a web application firewall. Okay, in order to scan that request, all those things, to monitor the traffic, all those things will be there. Proxy is nothing but here I have one user is there, and in between that user I put some proxy server, and at the end internet will be there. So this proxy will allow only authorized requests, pass the authorized request to the user and the destination. Okay, and I think database now. DBMS. So database is nothing but I have some web application where user ID and password will be there, and if the user submits that, then it will go and store the data in the backend. That is called a database. In between that middle tier is that is where we call as a business logic layer. Okay, so in the database might be very huge in size. Okay, so we need to have some management system in order to efficiently retrieve the data for our need. Okay, because the databases are very huge, and if I wanted to have some requirement at certain point of time, then it's very difficult to retrieve the data efficiently. So they should be managed properly. Okay, so here there are certain techniques are there. That is called as RDBMS. Tabular data are there. Each row is called as a tuple. Here columns and data, that is one called as a RDBMS. Employee ID, name, some phone number is there. Okay, or age, like that. Okay, now what is primary key? Employee ID is a primary key because no two employees will have the same employee ID. Okay, primary key is nothing but which is used to identify an unique field, a unique record in the column. Okay, now second thing, what is the composite key? Composite key is nothing but see, if I don't have a primary key, if we are not able to identify primary key in it, then we combine the two columns and identify that as a composite key. Group of some two keys is nothing but a composite key. Okay, now third thing is candidate key. Candidate key is nothing but a single primary key or a group of primary keys. Okay, that we call as a candidate key. Now foreign key, I have one more table is there. Employee ID, address is there. Okay, now employee ID is same here in this second table and first table. It is used to reference the other table, that we call as a employee ID is nothing but a foreign key. Okay, And okay, next is structured query language that we call as SQL. Okay, here we have some three types of commands: DDL, DML, and DCL. Okay, DDL is nothing but a data definition language. DML is data manipulation language. DCL is data control language. Okay, so in DDL, what happens? Create, insert, update, delete statements are there. In DML, select, where, order by, all these statements are there. Okay. In DCL, rollback, commit, save point, all these transaction related statements are there. So DML is like where we create the table, something we used to create, like definition of the table, altering the table, like that. All these commands are nothing but DDL. Now, if I find the DML commands, like search mechanism should be there, like select, where clause, order by, ascending, descending, like that. So that we call as a DML statements. And DCL, save point, rollback, commit, all these things are DCL commands. Now, another simple concept is AML, DL. Okay, AI is nothing but artificial intelligence. It is using some algorithms for doing some human-related specific tasks without being explicitly programming. Okay, say for example, I have one model. I have some picture is there. Okay, in that picture, I wanted to count the number of the persons in it. Okay, so counting the number of the persons in some photograph is the task. Now what I will do, I will pass this picture to the AML model, okay, and it gives me the output. Say for example, 10 people are there in that picture. Okay, now here what it does, here we are just programming, we are not explicitly programming, but it is used to identify that particular output. Okay, see here we have some input, one model, one output will be there. Okay, and ML is nothing but it's a machine learning technology. It's where we explicitly use some algorithms to provide some input to the model, and again that model will give the output. Okay, use of some machine learning algorithms where we used to train the machines or the systems. Okay, deep learning is nothing but it's like passing the input in the form of images or like video. Okay, where that model is used to identify certain things in the image or do some video analytics related thing. Okay, now GenAI is nothing but I have a model, and this model is used to generate some new content based upon what it has been learned existing. Okay, and LLM is large language models. These were used to generate the new content but text. EDR is endpoint detection response. Okay, so here this particular product, what it will do, it will identify the malwares in the organization or the system, and it will remove and what should be done. That responsibility will be also given for this EDR. Okay, now another thing is cloud. Cloud is nothing but, say for example, I have server is there. That server is a physical server where I used to store some 1000 large data. Okay, some 10,000 GB like that. Okay, now in the cloud we have some hardware is there. That hardware will be there only in the hardware will be there outside, and that that storage will be there in the VM in the cloud. Okay, so here software, there are some different terminologies there. Software as a service, still platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So here the servers, physical servers will be there on some site. Okay, now infrastructure as a service matlab ki that particular entire thing will be in the logical, the infrastructure will be offered as a service logically in the cloud. like in the form of a virtual machines or something like that. Platform as a service is nothing but that platform for the applications will be delivered in the form of cloud. Software as a service, say for example, Microsoft is there, and that email service is nothing but a software as a service. So every month that billing will come there, that cloud that billing and charging will be done for this type of service. Okay. And there are some different clouds are there: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Okay. Public cloud is nothing but which is accessible to each and everyone. Okay. And private cloud, which is specifically made for the organizations. Hybrid cloud, both public and private, if we combine, that is called as a hybrid cloud. Okay. Thank you.